fine spring morning on the river Meuse between Lorraine and Champagne in the year 1429 AD in the castle of Vaucouleurs, Captain Robert de Baudricourt, a military squire, is preoccupied with more pressing matters than that of a country girl of 17 or 18 who stands before him. She is delighted at having penetrated to Baudricourt's presence at last and full of hopes as to the results. His scowl does not check nor frighten her in the least. Her voice is very confident, very appealing, very hard to resist.
Good morning, Captain Squire. Captain, you are to give me a horse and armor and some soldiers and send me to the Dauphin. Those are your orders from my lord.
Orders from your lord, and who the devil may your lord be? Go back to him and tell him that I am neither duke nor peer at his orders. I am squire of Baudricourt, and I take no orders except from the king.
Yes, squire, that is all right. My lord is the king of heaven, and you will see that it is the will of God for you to do what he has put into my mind. Now, the horse will cost 16 francs. It's a good deal of money, but I can save it on the armor. I shall not want many soldiers, for the Dauphin will give me all I need to raise the siege of Orleans.
To raise the siege of Orleans? Well, I am damned.
No, squire. God is very merciful, and the blessed saints Catherine and Margaret, who speak to me every day, will intercede for you. You will go to paradise, and your name will be remembered forever as my first helper.
What's your name?
They call me Jenny in Lorraine. Here in France, I'm Joan. The soldiers call me the maid.
What did you mean when you said that St. Catherine and St. Margaret talked to you every day?
I hear voices tell me what to do. They come from God.
They come from your imagination.
Of course. That's how the messages of God come to us all.
So, God says you ought to raise the siege of Orleans?
And crown the Dauphin in Reims Cathedral.
Crown the Dauphin?
And to make English leave France.
Anything else?
Not just at present, but thank you, squire.
The English will take Orleans, and you cannot stop them, nor 10,000 like you.
1,000 like me can stop them. 10 like me can stop them with God on our side. You will live to see a day where there will not be an English soldier on this holy soil of France, and there will be but one king there. Not the feudal English king, but God's French one.
Now, you listen to me and don't cut in before I have time to think.
Yes, squire.
Your orders are... Your orders are that you are to go to Chinon under the escort of my soldiers.
Oh, squire, your head is all circled with light like a saint's.
I don't know that you will get into the royal presence, but how did you get into my presence? If the Dauphin can keep you out, he's a better man than I take him for. And like what may, I can do no more.
And the armor? I may have a soldier's armor, mayn't I, squire?
Have what you please. I wash my hands of it.
Nora and Duran, an end of the throne room in the castle of the French prince. At the other end, soldiers stand watch beside a massive door. It is late in the afternoon on the 8th of March, 1429.
Oh, Archbishop, do you know what Robert de Baudricourt is sending me from Vaucouleurs?
I'm not interested in the newest toys.
Well, it's not a toy. However, I can get on very well without your interest.
Your Highness is taking offense very unnecessarily.
Thank you. You know, you're always ready with a lecture, aren't you?
The Dauphin, age 26, really Charles VII's father, but is yet uncrowned, is a poor creature physically, with a wary expression of a young dog accustomed to it.
Enough grumbling. What have you got there?
What is it to you?
As Lord Chamberlain, it is my business to know what is passing between you and the garrison at Vaucouleurs.
You all think you can treat me as you please just because I owe you money and because I'm no good at fighting. But I have the blood royal in my veins.
Even that has been questioned, Your Highness.
Another lecture! Thank you. Oh, what a pity it is that though you're an archbishop, saints and angels don't come to see you.
Can you make it out, Archbishop?
I should have expected more common sense from de Beaujecor. He is sending some cracked country lass here.
He's sending a saint, an angel. He says she's performed miracles and hears the voices of heaven. And she's coming to me. To me, and not to you, Archbishop, holy as you are. She knows the blood royal, even if you don't.
It is for the church to make saints. Let de Beaujecor mind his own business and dare not usurp the function of his priest. I say the girl shall not be admitted. Do you dare say she shall?
Well, if you make it an excommunication matter, I have nothing more to say, of course. But you haven't read the end of the letter. De Beaujecor says she will raise the siege of Orléans and beat the English for us.
You have Jacques d'Anouat, the head of your troops in Orléans. Is it likely that country lass can do what he cannot do?
Well, why doesn't he raise the siege then?
The wind is against him. What he needs is a miracle. Archbishop, if she changes the wind for d'Anouat, what harm is there in trying?
It is true that de Beaujecor is extraordinarily impressed. The church, of course, must examine the girl. However, since your highness desires it, let her attend the court.
Will your holiness go find her and bring her here?
Come, Lord Chamberlain. Let us arrange so that she will not know who I am. Take off your hat and your cape. You will pretend to be me. If she can't find the blood royal, then I'm not going to have anything to do with her.
Pretend to be that thing? Holy Michael.
Here she is, my lord.
Rabbi Dauphin?
You are in the presence of the Dauphin.
Come! Thou canst not fool me. Gentle little Dauphin, I am sent to you to drive the English away from Orléans and from France, and to crown you king in Reims Cathedral, where all true kings of France are crowned.
You see, both of you? She did know the blood royal.
You cannot seriously be considering the opinion of this.
My lord, will you please send these two away so I may speak to my Dauphin alone?
Yes, do as the maid wishes.
Why dost let them treat you so?
How can I prevent him? He bullies me. They all bully me.
Art afraid?
Yes, I'm afraid.
I shall put courage into thee.
I don't want to have courage put into me. Put your courage into the others and let them have their belly full of fighting. Let me alone.
It's no use, Charlie. Thou must face what God puts on thee. Come, let me see thee sitting on the throne. I've looked forward to that.
What's the use of sitting on a throne when the other fellows give all the orders? However, here's your king for you. Look your fill at the poor devil.
Thou art not king yet, lad. Thou art but Dauphin. Be not led away by those around thee. I come from God to tell thee to kneel in Reims Cathedral and solemnly give thy kingdom to him forever and ever, and become the greatest king in the world, as his steward and his bailiff, as his soldier and his servant.
If only I dared.
I shall dare, and dare, and dare again in God's name. Art for or against me?
I'll risk it. Now, I warn you, I shan't be able to keep it up. But I'll risk it. You'll see. Hello? Come back, everyone! Mind you, stand by and don't let me be bullied. Oh, now I'm in for it. But, no matter. Here goes. I have given command of the army to the maid. The maid is to do as she likes with it.
What is this? I command the army.
Oh, I guess.
Harley? Thou art answered, Monsieur Bully. Where are my soldiers? Who is for God and his maid? Who is for Orléans with me? To Orléans! Ah!
Orléans, April 29th, 1429. Jacques Dunois, age 26, is pacing up and down a patch of ground on the south bank of the Silver Loire, commanding a long view of the river in both directions. He continues to look in frustration at a banner fluttering strongly in the wind. It is evening.
Change, curse you! Change, English harlot of a wind! Change! West, west, I tell you!
Halt! Who goes there?
It is the maid.
Let her pass. Hither, maid, to me.
You Dunois of Orléans?
Are you Joan the maid?
Yes.
Where are your troops?
Miles behind. They cheated me. They led me to the wrong side of the river.
I told them to.
Why did you? The English are on the other side.
The English are on both sides.
But Orléans is on the other side. We must fight the English there. How can we cross the river?
Good. You have the makings of a soldier in you.
I am a soldier. I do not want to be thought of as a woman. I do not dress as a woman. I do not care for the things that women care for. They dream of lovers and money. I dream of leading a charge. I will be the first up the ladder when we reach that fort, Jack. I dare you to follow me.
All in good time. Our men must cross the river and take the English in the rear on this side.
Then let us build rafts and put big guns on them and let your men cross to us.
The rafts are ready and the men are embarked, but they must wait for God.
What do you mean? God is waiting for them.
Let him send us a wind then. My boats are downstream. They cannot come up against both wind and current. We must wait until God changes the wind. The wind has changed. It's true. You command the king's army. I am your soldier.
A tent in the English camp. A chaplain paces the length of a long table, wearing an expression of frustration and exasperation. Seated on the other side is an imposing but relaxed nobleman. The nobleman's face is intelligent, impassive, and unreadable.
I must say, my lord, you are taking our situation very coolly indeed.
What is the matter?
The matter, my lord, is that we English have been defeated.
That happens, you know. It is only in history books and in ballads that the enemy is always defeated.
But we are being defeated over and over again. First, Orléans.
Oh, again with Orléans!
My lord, at Orléans this woman had her throat pierced by an English arrow and was seen to cry like a child from the pain of it. It was a death wound, yet she fought all day and led the French to victory. Now, I know what you are going to say, my lord. This was a clear case of witchcraft. but we are still being defeated. Jargeau, Mung, Beaujon see just like Orléans. By God, if this goes on any longer, I will take arms myself and strangle the accursed witch with my own hands.
So you shall, chaplain, so you shall, if we can do nothing better. But not yet, not quite yet.
Sir, the Right Reverend the Bishop of Beauvais, Monsieur Cauchant, is here.
Ah, my dear Bishop, how good of you to come. Allow me to introduce myself. Richard Beauchamp, Earl of Warwick, at your service.
Your lordship's fame is well known to me.
My lord, how could you invite this French?
This reverend cleric is Master John de Stegumba, chaplain to who you French call the Cardinal of England, I believe. Do me the honor to be seated. Well, my Lord Bishop, you find us in one of our unlucky moments. Charles is to be crowned at Rheims, practically by the young woman from the Wren.
We were not fairly beaten, my lord. It was witchcraft.
Our friend here takes the view that the young woman is a sorceress.
Sorceress or not, I know it is a matter of plain common sense that the woman is a rebel, and that is enough for me. She rebels against nature by wearing men's clothes and fighting. She rebels against the church by usurping the divine authority of the Pope.
We Englishmen are not afraid of this girl superseding the church by a great heresy. I and my peers represent the feudal aristocracy. Now, by the maid's doctrine, the king will take our lands, and make them a present to God, and God will then vest them wholly in the king. Instead of the king being merely first among his peers, he becomes their master. That we cannot suffer. We call no man master. What she represents is dangerous, and she must not be allowed to live.
I can appreciate the political perspective, of course. But there are higher concerns than land and titles. What will the world be like when the church's accumulated wisdom and knowledge and experience is replaced by every ignorant laborer or dairymaid who believes they can be directly inspired from heaven? For now, you have only the maid and her dupes, but what will it be when every girl thinks herself a Joan? If she does not recant in the dust before the world and submit herself to the last inch of her soul to her church, to the fire she shall go if she once falls into my hand.
My lord, we seem to be agreed.
I will not imperil my soul. I will uphold the justice of the church. I will strive to the utmost for this woman's salvation.
I am sorry for the poor girl. I hate these severities. I will spare her, if I can.
I would burn her with my own hands.
The vestry in the cathedral of Reims, after the coronation of Charles VII, Joan is kneeling in prayer before a station of the cross. Beautifully dressed, but still in male attire.
Well, your majesty is anointed king at last. How do you like it?
I wouldn't go through that again to be emperor of the sun and moon. The weight of these robes, and I thought I should have dropped when they loaded this crown onto my head. Oh, and the holy oil that they talked about so much was rancid. Whew!
Come, Joan, it is over. Time to go back to Lorraine, and you will miss the fighting, I think.
Jack, before I go home, let us take Paris.
No. Let's be content with what we've done. Let's make a treaty.
I will never stop while there are still Englishmen on this holy earth of France.
Joan, you think you have God in your pocket. Up to now, we have the numbers on our side, and we have won. But in Paris, you will find that God is on the side of the big battalions, and you will be taken by the enemy.
No, I know if we attack, Paris will open its gates. And if not, we'll break through them.
Archbishop, she thinks she knows better than everybody else.
I do know better than any of you seem to. I always know. My voices tell.
Oh, your voices. Well, why don't the voices come to me, huh? I'm the king, not you.
Child, If you persist through setting your private judgment above the instructions of your spiritual directors, the church disowns you. The military, the king, will not help you. You stand alone, absolutely alone. We and we only stand between you and the fire which our enemies have ready.
That is the truth, Joan. Heed it.
Where would you all have been by now had I heeded that sort of truth? Yes, I'm alone on earth. I've always been alone. But it is better to be alone with God. His friendship will not fail me, nor his counsel, nor his love. And in his strength I will dare, and dare, and dare until I die. I will go to Paris, and France will be free. And so God be with me.
Rouen, 30th May, 1431. A great stone hall in the castle. Now the bishop's court with the Holy Inquisition participating. It is a fine sunshiny May morning.
Good morrow to your lordship. Have I had the honor of meeting your friends before? I think not.
This, my lord, is Brother John Lemaitre of the Order of Saint Dominic. He is acting as deputy for the chief inquisitor into the evil of heresy in France. Brother John, the Earl of Warwick.
Your reverence is most welcome. We have no inquisitor in England, though we miss him greatly, especially on occasions like the present.
My lord.
This young Dominican is Brother Martin Laudvenu. He is assigned as Joan's confessor.
A formidable assignment. I'm very glad to make your acquaintance, Brother Laudvenu. Now, Bishop, may I ask to what stage the proceedings have reached? It is now more than 9 months since the maid was captured. May I suggest you are taking a rather unconscionable time to make up your minds about a very plain case?
I am determined that the woman shall have a fair hearing. The justice of the church is not a mockery, my lord.
As opposed to you English, we work for her salvation.
Well, by all means do your best for her, if you are quite certain it will be of no avail. I should be sorry to have to act without the blessing of the church. Shall I leave you to it?
Yes. It will be very good of your lordship to withdraw and allow the court to assemble. Master de Stogambert, chaplain to the Cardinal of England, may, of course, remain.
Along with my soldiers. Think of them as protection from the maid.
What scoundrels these English nobles are.
The court is in session.
Let the accused be brought in.
Joan, chained by the wrists, stripped of all possessions save a rosary, is brought in through the arched door by a guard of English soldiers. They lead her to the prisoner's stool and place themselves behind it. Her long imprisonment and the strain of the examinations which have preceded the trial have left their mark on her. But she remains defiant.
Sit down, Joan. Members of the Holy Inquisition, take your places.
Why do you leave me in the hands of the English? I should be in the hands of the church. And why must I be chained?
Woman, it is not for you to question the court. It is for us to question you. Now, the church has instructed you that these voices you claim to hear are demons seeking your soul's perdition. Do you accept the instruction of the church?
I will not betray my voices. They are from God.
If they are from God, why do they not come to us as God's chosen representatives on earth?
They do come to you, but you do not hear them.
Master Inquisitor, I must emphasize the gravity of her crime. She wears men's clothing, which is indecent, unnatural, and abominable.
Yes, as to this matter of the man's dress, for the last time will you put off that impudent attire and dress as becomes your sex?
I will not. My voices tell me I must dress as a soldier.
Joan, Joan, does not that prove to you that the voices are the voices of evil spirits? Can you suggest to us one good reason why an angel of God should give you such shameless advice?
Why, yes. What can be plainer common sense? I was a soldier living amongst soldiers. Now I'm a prisoner guarded by soldiers. If I were to dress as a woman, they would think of me as a woman, and then what would become of me? If I dress as a soldier, they will think of me as a soldier, and I could live with them as I do at home with my brothers. That is why St. Catherine tells me I must not dress as a woman until she gives me leave.
Witchcraft, my lord, witchcraft! She should be put to death!
But you are not going to burn me now.
You realize it at last.
There are 800 English soldiers waiting to take you to the marketplace the moment the sentence of excommunication has passed the lips of your judges. You are within a few short moments of that doom.
Oh, God.
Do not despair, Joan. The church is merciful. You can save yourself.
Oh, it's true. It's true, my voices have betrayed me. I have been mocked by devils. My faith is broken. I have dared and dared, but only a fool would walk into a fire. God, who gave me my common sense, cannot will me to do that.
Now God be praised that he has saved you at the 11th hour.
My lord bishop, do you mean you are going to allow this woman to escape us?
Silence!
My lord, here's the form of recantation for the maid.
Read it to her.
I, Joan, commonly called the maid, do confess to the sin of sedition, to the sin of idolatry, to the sin of disobedience, to the sin of pride, and to the sin of heresy, all of which sins I now renounce and abjure and depart from. All this I swear by God Almighty and the Holy Gospels.
You understand this, Joan?
Plain enough, sir.
And it is true?
If it were not true, the fire would not be ready for me in the marketplace.
Very well. Give her the confession to sign. Make your mark. Kneel, Joan. We declare thee, by this act, set free from the danger of excommunication in which thou stoodest.
I thank you.
But because thou wast sinned most presumptuously against God and the Holy Church, that thou mayst repent thy errors in solitary contemplation, we do condemn thee to perpetual imprisonment to the end of thy earthly days.
Perpetual imprisonment! Am I not then to be set free?
Set free, child. After such wickedness as yours, what are you dreaming of?
Light your fire! Do you think I dread it as much as the life of a rat in a hole? My
Joan!
Yes, they told me that you were fools, and that I was not to listen to your fine words nor trust to your charity. You promised me my life, but you lied. To shut me from the light of the sky and the sights of the field and the flowers. Without these things, I cannot live. And by your wanting to take them away from me, or from any human creature, I know that your counsel is of the devil, and mine is of God.
She's a relapsed heretic, obstinate, incorrigible, and altogether unworthy of the mercy we have shown her. I call for her excommunication.
You, soldier, light your fire. To the stake with her!
You wicked girl, if your counsel were of God, would he not deliver you?
His ways are not your ways. He wills that I go through fire into his bosom, for I am his child. And you are not fit that I shall live among you. That is my last word to you.
Take her away.
Into the fire with the witch.
Her heresy has been answered.
It is to God we all must answer.
Took this cross from the church and held it up for her that she might see it to the last. She had only 2 sticks that she put into her bosom. When I had to snatch the cross from her sight, she looked up to heaven. And I do not believe that the heavens were empty. This is not the end for her, but the beginning.
Oh, I am intruding. I thought it was all over.
Do not go, my lord. It is all over.
God forgive me.
What in the devil's name was that?
And throws himself upon it with heart-rending sobs.
O Christ, deliver me from this fire that is consuming me. She called to thee in the midst of it. She asked for a cross. A soldier gave her 2 sticks tied together. Thank God he was an Englishman. I might have done it, but I did not. He is in thy bosom now, and I am in hell forevermore.
You, soldier. I have your word, have I, that nothing remains. Not a bone, not a nail, not a hair, nothing that could be gathered and revered as relics.
Her heart will not burn, my lord. Everything that's left is at the bottom of the river.
Have heard the last of her.
A restless, fitfully windy night in June 1456, full of summer thunder after many days of heat. King Charles VII of France, formerly Joan's Dauphin, now Charles the Victorious, 25 years older, is in bed in one of his royal chateaus.
Easy, Charlie, easy. What art making all that noise for? No one can hear thee. Thou art asleep.
Joan? Are you a ghost, Joan?
Hardly even that, lad. Can a poor burnt-up lass have a ghost? I am but a dream that thou art dreaming. Thou looks older, lad.
I am older. Am I really asleep?
Fallen asleep over thy silly book.
Are you really dead?
As dead as anybody ever really is, laddie.
Fancy that. Did it hurt much?
What hurt much?
When you were burnt?
That. I cannot remember very well. I think it did, at first. But then everything got sort of mixed up, and I wasn't in the right mind until I was free of the body. Why, look, Charlie, who's joined your dream. If it isn't Peter Cochon. How are you, Peter? Art dead or alive?
Dead. Dishonored. They pursued me beyond the grave. They excommunicated my dead body. They dug it up and flung it into the common sewer.
Well, well, Peter. I hope men be the better for remembering me. And they would not remember me so well had you not burned me.
Hello, lass.
Benoit, you're here too. Be the English gone?
I have kept my word. The English are gone.
Praise be God. Now is fair France a province in heaven. Tell me all about the fighting, Jack. Was it thou that led them? Were thou God's captain to thy death?
I am not dead. My body is very comfortably asleep in my bed at Chateaudun, but my spirit is called here by yours.
So you fought them my way, Jack, eh? The maid's way, staking life against death, with heart high, humble, and void of malice, and nothing counting under God but France free, just as my saints foretold.
Who asked for a saint?
Be you a saint?
Yes, lady, straight from hell.
A saint? And from hell?
Yes, noble captain. I have a day off. You know, that's my allowance for my one good action. I have a day off every year for it, and so until 12 o'clock punctually, I'm a saint at your service.
What was your good action?
Why, the silliest thing you ever heard of. I
Tied 2 sticks together and gave them to a poor lass that was going to be burned.
Right. Who told you that?
Never mind.
May I congratulate you on your victory.
Who invited the English into my dream?
Madam, I believe I owe you an apology.
I hold no malice, my lord.
Just so. Very kind of you to meet me in that way. A touch of true breeding. The burning was purely political. There was no malice against you, I assure you. The truth is, sometimes these political necessities turn out to be political mistakes.
This mirth, gentlemen.
I congratulate you on having invented an extraordinarily comic dress.
Pardon me, I am here on serious business. I cannot engage in frivolous discussions. Joan of Arc, formerly known as the Maid, having been the subject of an inquiry instituted by the Bishop of Orleans, and having admitted the said Joan successively to the ranks of Venerable and Blessed, has finally declared her to have been endowed with heroic virtues and favored with private revelations, and calls the said Venerable and Blessed Joan to the communion of the Church, triumphant as Saint Joan.
Saint Joan.
In Basilica Vaticana, day of May, 1920.
No. It is for the saint to kneel. But listen, all of you. Though I am dead, I bid you remember that I am now a saint, and saints can work miracles. So tell me, shall I come back to you a living woman? What? Must I burn again? Are none of you ready to receive me?
Poor old Joan. They've all run away from you, just as they did before. What can I do but follow their example?
Good night, Charlie. Oh God, that made this beautiful earth. When will it be ready to receive thy saints? How long, O Lord? How long?